Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation that has been annoying a lot of people. Now, this has been a very, very interesting one because if you guys don't know, Ruse, part of FaZe Connect, recently has been celebrating the fact that she has had her first full album out, which is really great to see. And obviously, yeah, they've been kind of talking about that. And this is back in January that this was posted, January 4th, right? And yeah, obviously this has been out for a while and people have been very happy to see it. But it seems like there was a recent reply to this, which angered a lot of VTuber fans as people did a little bit of digging. And it's something that is affecting not just Runie, but also other people in FaZe Connect and also outside of FaZe Connect as well, other VTubers in general, which is essentially just an onslaught of harassment from a literal partnership. Company or whatever you want to call it, right? Because again, if you guys don't know what this brand is, you guys probably know what it is. They make certain products for adults. Obviously, I can't really go much further than that. But yeah, obviously, it is pretty insane, right? And well, they've gone ahead and actually replied to this one post here. Now, they have ended up deleting it, by the way, probably because they felt so embarrassed by it. But essentially, the VTubing space has not been happy with this. But they reply to this album post, which I think is crazy, especially on this post, right? Essentially saying, yeah, hi, Runie Ruse. I hope reaching out here isn't disturbing you. This is Anya from, the team. I've been following your content for a long time and really love to explore the possibility of collaborating with you. I couldn't find a proper contact method, so this was the only way I could get in touch. Our collaborations are very flexible and we can always discuss a format that works best for you. If you're open to it, please could you DM me? I'd love to connect and chat more. So yeah, obviously a super unprofessional way, I would say, of asking a VTuber to, collaborate or to work on a sponsor with them, which I think, again, is extremely weird, especially considering what this company is, right? Because, again, I don't think Runie has exactly expressed any kind of interest in this partnership. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen anything to do with it, and a lot of people in the replies are saying she doesn't. So, again, I think it's just weird. And they've also been targeting other people as well, including people like Anya and Nyabyss, which they've also deleted the reply for that one too. I didn't manage to get a screenshot of that one, but also other VTubers as well. If you literally look at their reply page, they're responding to obviously people who make certain content on Twitter, but also as well a lot of VTubers. And yeah, I do think it is very, very interesting because I don't know if this is just, some kind of corporate person being completely blind to the fact that not every VTuber is like a LootTuber or whatever you want to call it, right? Because obviously, yeah, there are some people that would love a collaboration like this or whatever, but not every single VTuber wants it, and being a VTuber doesn't give them the permission just to go into the replies and kind of put the, stuff there. I think it's just so weird, especially with that tick mark. And obviously, they say the fact of like, hey, we couldn't find a way to reach out to you. I mean, Runie in particular is obviously a part of FaZe Connect. I think it's very easy to get into contact with someone at FaZe Connect to see if anybody there would like to collaborate with them, right? And I think that is essentially, the case. And I think, if it was a private email or a private, message or whatever, then sure. But I think that if they don't have any of that open, then they probably don't want to talk to you, right? They probably don't want to go through the sponsorship. And I think it's so weird. And this goes the same for any other sponsors that are trying to do this kind of stuff in terms of, messaging them publicly and whatever, because it kind of puts you on the spot, regardless of what the company is and whatever. It kind of puts you in the spot in terms of like, you kind of feel obligated to respond to it now because obviously they're such a big company with a verified, tick and everything like that. Now, some people have been discussing, is this a scam? Because over on the username, they actually have a 0 instead of an O. But I did do a little bit of digging. It seems like the official account for this company is following this account. So it seems like it's legitimate. It seems like this is just an extremely unprofessional way to go about it. And obviously it's ruined a lot of VTubers and a lot of VTubers fans' impression of this company, as they've been very supportive of a lot of VTubers in the space, especially a lot of LootTubers in the space, right? But now a lot of people are like, well, I don't really know if I want to partner with you if all you do is just spam other creators, because that's what they're doing. They're spamming people and they are just kind of annoying them. And, obviously Runie never actually ended up responding to it, at least as far as I saw, because of course it's weird, right? You don't want to bring attention to this kind of stuff. You don't want to bring it, especially if you're not doing any of this kind of content, because they don't care. They don't care whether you create this kind of content that maybe would kind of line up with their kind of products, or if you don't at all, right? If you're a completely safe streamer in terms of that regard, right? They don't care. They'll just continue messaging you, which I think is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I think it's super unprofessional, and many people have been calling it out. Now, of course, we can't go through the quotes and replies because they have now deleted it. And, I'm glad that they have deleted it, because it was pretty embarrassing to see, right? Because this is a big company. This isn't just something that, it's like some random guy on Twitter that's like, oh, you want to collab or whatever. No, it's like it's an actual company, right? That is doing this kind of stuff. And I think it's just so odd. It is so odd that they kind of do this to VTubers. And, the whole response to this was like, hey, yo, this is weird. I'm not the only one that was saying this, by the way. Obviously, I said, this is so weird, bro. I understand maybe a private email discussing the possibility, but a public reply on an album release post is so unprofessional. Nobody wants to work with spammers. Look at the replies. All they do is harass VTubers, which, yeah, is true, right? And you got people down here as well also replied saying, I never do this, but I actually sent a complaint to the support email. Really gross behavior, which, yeah, I think is fair enough, right? Some people said some of the accounts they're commenting have models that look kind of young as well. They don't even have a 18+ site advertised, just commenting under schedules for Twitch. So essentially what they're saying there is like, yeah, they've been commenting under some, young looking kind of accounts and things like that. And they don't even create that kind of content, which I think is even weirder, right? Because, of course, they're not really associated with, like, adults or that kind of content, right? And I think it's crazy that they would even go ahead and do that, right? Because, again, they don't make that kind of content, so why go after them? Why try to pursue them for a sponsor, right? And obviously, yeah, someone down here saying it's a 0, not an O. Is it a scam? And yeah, I don't think it is a scam. Like, I 100% agree with a lot of people out there saying, like, hey, this looks like a scam because of the way that they're acting, because of the kind of username, all of this kind of stuff with the 0 instead of an O. Yeah, a lot of people at first glance would think, yeah, this is 100% a scam. Someone just trying to, get a VTuber to, I don't know, give them their PayPal or something, and then they end up scamming them. I don't know. I don't know how they would really go about it. But no, it seems like this is actually legitimate. It is followed by the official account. I don't see any other reason why the official account would follow this account if it was a scam. So again, I think it is absolutely crazy that this is actually doing it on behalf of the official account and just going after all of these VTubers, right? And people have had enough. People have had enough of being hunted like this by this company. And I think it's great, right? I think it's great that people have had enough because, it's just so unprofessional. Now, again, I haven't seen any other, sponsors or anything like that do this very often. So that is great. That is good. Obviously, I want to see, a little bit more professionality from these companies whenever it comes to approaching VTubers, right? Because, again, it seems like they have zero idea of how this kind of stuff works. I think that maybe, if I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, I think that maybe, potentially, they just kind of have a guy there that is working on this stuff that has like zero clue of what is going on, especially with like this album and things like that, and has zero clue on how to communicate properly with people through DMs or emails or whatever. But again, I don't know, maybe this guy or girl or whoever, I think it's Aria, that sounds like a female name, but I don't know, maybe it is a dude. Again, I don't know if they're just stupid. Maybe they're just like very illiterate in terms of social media, but I'm gonna be honest, if you got someone who's illiterate running your social media accounts on social media, maybe you should hire them, right? Maybe you should give them a different job to do, because obviously this clearly isn't their kind of line of work, right? I feel like they should probably be better off doing something else, because harassing VTubers and harassing creators is not one that we want to see. But yeah, I'm glad that obviously everything seems to have worked out anyways. They've deleted the post. Runie didn't respond to it, which is, obviously I'm assuming that was a choice from her. They also deleted, as I said, the one from Anya. So I'm wondering if FaZe Connect actually got involved and maybe shut down all of these replies from them and asked them to delete them. I don't know. But again, it is very odd and obviously, as I said, very unprofessional, and has lost a lot of respect from VTubers for this kind of stuff, despite the amount of VTubers they work with. They work with a lot of VTubers who do create that kind of content and whatever, and use these kind of products. But again, if it's someone that doesn't want to do this kind of stuff, then don't push them for it, right? I think it's so weird. But yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, good game subs, use my code Kazo, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.